Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead, and in the house, let's just get right to it. We have guests because we have important...
This is a very important episode.
It's that time of the year. So it is Star Trek Day is coming up rapidly. April 12th, it's going to be over at Neil's over on Quince Road. I forgot the number. But anyway, in the house, we've got the founder of Star... What?
I was just going to say, if people don't know where Neil's is already, they know how to look it up. Google is your friend.
Just get on Quince and head east. But the founder of Star Trek Day in the house, Steve Mulroy.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good to have you, sir.
Yeah.
And then, James, what is your rank these days? Because you run Station Shelby, and you had to go to school for like 4 years for this,
Absolutely.
right?
I am a captain at the moment.
Okay, James Weakley is here in the house. So, well, Steve, here we are. What number are we at?
This is the 11th annual Shelby County Star Trek Day celebration.
Wow.
Are we counting COVID that year? Because
no, we didn't. We skipped that one.
So this could have been 15. I mean, this started
12.
No.
I mean 12. I'm sorry.
We did two virtual years. So yeah, we count. It counts.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I remember it like it was yesterday. It was your last day in office, right? Was
Yeah,
it
so it was
technically your last day?
Yeah, my last official act as a county commissioner for Shelby County, my last day, I had April 9th declared Star Trek Day in Shelby County. It's the only city or county in the country has an officially declared Star Trek Day. And then County Commissioner Reginald Milton the next year did another resolution making it permanent. So I went out in 2014. Yeah, and I think the first Star Trek Day was in 2015.
The celebration, but technically, that's right, because you thought this was just going to be a one-off thing.
I did it as a lark. I didn't think anything was going to come, but you, Joe, you got me going. You said, no, we should actually do something. We should do something. So we did that first thing at the old Davis Kid bookstore in April of 2015, and it was a small event, but it's grown, and now we usually get about 80 to 100 people every year. It's a great family-friendly, free, fun event.
I mean, it's serious bragging rights, in my opinion.
No.
There's no other, other town, no other county.
We've gotten to watch it grow. Especially, working the door for you guys. It's just like seeing new faces come in, seeing very familiar, friendly faces. I can't think of any time where we've had any kind of issues where people are like, oh, that guy's going to be here. I'm not going. And I've even talked with folks who have been kind of out of the con scene this past, Mid-South Con was a week or so back, and I was doing a survey to see how people feel about our local events. And I've seen people who are getting excited because we were right across from you, James, with Station Shelby.
Absolutely,
they're like excited about having a new Starfleet chapter in the city, and they're these are people who have been kind of out of it, and they're like, wait, there's a Star Trek Day, and so there's more people excited to come to Neil's this year than It's been amazing to watch it go from like this little grassroots thing at the booksellers, and then. It
has explosive growth. It really, and then last year when we had Jonathan Frakes and Armin Shimmerman, Riker from Next Gen, and Quark from Deep Space Nine zooming in for a live Q&A, that was really something.
It's beautiful.
And this year, we're going to have Sir Rick Lofton, who played Jake Sisko, the boy who turned into a man over the course of 7 seasons on Deep Space Nine. He's going to be zooming in for a live Q&A. We're going to have Chad Allen Barton, a local filmmaker who is currently working on a documentary about the connections between Memphis and Star Trek. He'll be there. The Commercial Appeals film critic John Bifus is going to be talking about Starfleet Academy, that series. But one thing that is kind of special that I know James can tell us about is the very first thing happening at the very beginning of the agenda.
So the first thing that's happening at 11 a.m. is we are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Station Shelby being a commissioned starship or chapter. And the next thing that we're doing is introducing Memphis to the next chapter of Starfleet, the International Star Trek Fan Association. And that is the USS Alexandria out of Jackson, Tennessee. I've been working on them for about 18 months. They now have 10 members. You needed 5 to start the launch. They launched this week, so now they're going to go on a 9-month training. And after that, they will commission just like we did last year.
Hey, James, how many, not to put you on the spot, do you know how many countries are in this fan base of yours?
I don't know how many countries, but I do know it is worldwide.
Well, it is Starfleet International after all. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It is,
Well, it should be intergalactic, right? I mean, you're getting there.
Well,
But,
once
yeah.
we start communicating with chapters elsewhere, that name will change.
Right.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's all about the evolution.
So, and of course, the staples will always be there. There'll be Star Trek merch, thanks to Joe. There'll be a costume contest. There'll be a trivia contest with all kinds of prizes for everybody. Yeah, you'll be able to eat Klingon gok and fried tribble. You'll be able to drink Romulan ale and Klingon blood wine. So, like I said, fun, family-friendly, free.
Yeah. I don't always have tribble, but when I do, it's medium rare. So.
I mean, it's
Actually, you got to deep fry them, right?
Well, I mean, if you deep fry it, it's gonna be fully cooked. But no, if you're gonna, like just throw it on the grill, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. But now, of course, the best way to eat tribble is raw. It has to be slithering.
We're getting bad karma started here.
gok.
I mean, are we really talking about the eating
Yes,
tribbles?
absolutely, we are, sir.
Appetizers, so, okay.
I mean, it's not. It tastes way better than Pomeranian.
Folks, talk about burying the lead. This is also a free celebration.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's one
Steve
of the
said
beauties.
that like
so-
at least 3 times.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Steve, do you know the address over there at Neil's? Well, not to put you guys on the spot.
It's 50 something. He's going to look it up and
We'll look
get
it up and
to us
give
in
it
a
to you at the
second. It's
break.
on Quince Road by the YMCA. Do you have the address?
Yes, it is 5725 Quince Road, 38119.
5725 Quince Road from 11 to 6. And the other thing we're going to do is during the course of the day, we're going to have a discussion and debate and ranked choice, multiple round selection of the best time travel Star Trek episode. And then whichever one wins, then at the end of the day, we will screen that episode to close out the day.
And one of the things that's cool about the whole every year, it's always like the best of something.
Yeah.
The voting process is almost as fun as watching it. So,
Yep.
And we'll give you all the details when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio. And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmsted and our friends James Weakley in the house and Steve Mulroy. Live long and prosper, guys. I guess that's not really, we should say that at the end of the segment, but it is Star Trek Day. This is the 12th annual Star Trek Day coming up.
11th.
I know, but, well, okay, we don't count COVID, but...
Or they do count COVID, but...
But James, when did you get roped into actually helping with Star Trek Day? Because it's been a while.
That was the second year, 2016. Carlin Stewart called me after I had been doing con panels with Siri Aram. We had made a name for ourselves with Star Trek, Batman, a couple of anime. And he said, listen, I want you to call this guy a local politician. He's going to do a Star Trek event. Which politics start? Well, okay, tell me more. And so we locked up with them, and they had us do a panel. I think it was alongside Jonathan Bifus that year.
That's right.
And we were just talking about the significance of Star Trek to culture, American culture, and how it's paved the way for so much that's come since then.
You always got to love, though, whenever you get a message from Carlin. Because that's exactly what it is. He goes, hey, I need you to do this, or hey, I'd like you to do this, or this, you might be interested in this. And then it's like he's going to give you the bare bones, but it's always something that'll go, I want to be involved. Every time. He was always really good at that.
Yeah, because Steve Carlin was at the very first. He was at what do you call that ceremony when you made this the proclamation? I guess what is that?
I guess Shelby County Commission proclamation, that's all. And Carlin was working for county government at the time, so he and I interacted as I was a county commissioner, and so I knew about that, and I had him come, and I had you come. And was that the one where I wore the uniform?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the photo op, man. Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering, because when to be honest, I can't remember when the conversation came about this should be annual. Maybe you had just mentioned to me that, well, this is it, but was it hard to talk you into doing this? I don't remember. Because it is a lot of work, folks, that you put in.
I don't know how hard it was, but I really just thought I'd just do it, as a lark and a one-time thing. And you really kept at me. You kept saying, no, it's got to be annual, and we got to have an event, and we got to commemorate it. And so I thought, all right, well, I'll give it a shot. And we did the thing at Davis Kidd, and it had about 15 or 20 people. But we had so much fun that we decided, no, we got to do this every year, and it's grown ever since.
Yeah, I got to put this out there for the audience because a lot of people don't realize this about you, Joe.
Yeah.
Is that when you get an idea into your head, you are like a dog with a bone. You're like, hey, look at this. No, it's mine, but look at this. And people go, okay, all right. And then we do it. And then the rest of us get addicted to it. So even when you're at this point going, I don't know what I'm about. No, Joe, we have to do it.
Well, if we take ourselves back, too, in 2014, what was the state of Star Trek at that point? We didn't have any of the new shows, right?
Nope.
And
that's right.
And when was the last show? We were in a pretty big. We had the movies, if you want to count them.
It was the drought.
Yeah.
Enterprise had ended, I think, in 2005, and then we had a couple of the movies come out. That was it.
And I don't know. Do you guys count J.J. Abrams stuff as?
So J.J. Abrams made a series of action movies set in the Star Trek universe.
You say that with a little bit of disdain in your voice, Steve.
I just want to make sure that, it's clear that I don't know if I call them Star Trek movies, but they definitely took place in the Star Trek universe. I'll say that.
So, okay, this is where my analysis comes in because for me, it is Star Trek, but it's post-terrorism Star Trek. When you have, or post-cataclysm, because you had the destruction of Romulus, and that changed canon forever because you have Spock time traveling backwards 5 years before the events of the original series. You've got the obliteration of Romulus. You've got, I think, the obliteration of Vulcan.
So one thing I'll say about it is that it was clever that they created an alternate timeline because then even though it was a prequel, you didn't know everything that was going to happen, right? So if a character was in danger, you couldn't say, well, I know they survived because I saw this episode. No, it's an alternate timeline. Anything can happen. So I thought that much was clever. But there's a lot of other Star Trek that's been out there since then. Some of it good, some of it less good in my opinion, but it gets everybody talking. Everybody has a great time debating what's good and what's not. One thing I forgot to mention is, Joe, from that very first time we did it, you've always said that you wanted as much audience participation as possible. We always try to do something creative with the audience. Like one time we had a NCAA type bracket to debate and vote on who the best Star Trek villain was. We've done Star Trek Mad Libs in the past, which we've acted out with the people from Quark's Theater. Well, this year we're doing something for the first time that I think you'll like. We have the Memphis Improv Alliance. And they're going to...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they're going to come on stage, and we're going to give the audience 4 different prompts with choices: protagonist, antagonist, nature of the conflict, nature of the resolution, and then let them select 2 volunteers from the audience, and then they're going to go backstage, and they're going to, using those prompts, improvise a mini Star Trek episode, which they will then come back out and perform for us. So it'll be like we help them write a Star Trek episode and then perform it.
Now that's cool. Steve, I'll say
I'm leaving
this.
Joe at the door for that one. I'm going to come watch this one.
Yeah, because I will say this. I think as the years went on, like you discovered, we let's face it, we had some panels that were more presentations, you could say.
Yep.
But we found that the ones that really got the room going is when it was very interactive, like your voting thing, the voting for the brackets. But what do we call this? Town halls. Almost.
Town halls.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be sort of the thrust now. Pretty much, there's very few what I would call lectures, right?
Yeah, there are 1 or 2 with some interesting things, but mostly it's audience participation.
It's fun, folks. It's like, and it's interesting because you say, well, there's 80 or 100 people there. To me, it feels like there's 400 or 500 people, mostly because of the enthusiasm.
It's a lot of energy in that room.
And there's a lot of positivity. I guess maybe, Steve, that's why I was so, I don't know, just... I love the idea of continuing it because it's something that Memphis can brag about, and it's something good. and it brings people together. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Absolutely.
So once again, give out the details, Steve, before we hit the break.
Yeah, it's Sunday, April 12th, which is the Sunday after Easter. It's from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Quince's Bar and Grill, 57...
Neil's.
What did I say? Neil's Bar and Grill on Quince Road, 5725 Quince, from 11 to 6.
Okay, perfect. All right, we're going to talk some more Trek when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio. And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our friends James Weakley over there. You are, tell me your rank again.
It's the captain. I'm
Captain of
James Weakley, commanding officer of Station Shelby.
Well, don't look at me that way, Brandon. He has 2 ranks. He's technically the captain and the commander. Go figure that.
Well, commander's a position, captain's a rank.
There you
So
go.
just for the uninformed, so this is
and our buddy Steve Mulroy, founder of Shelby County Star Trek Day, which is coming up, folks. The 11th annual Shelby County Star Trek Day over at Neil's at 5725 Quince from 11 to 6.
on Sunday, April 12th. Sunday
April
after
12th,
Hebrew. That's
right.
right. Admission free.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, we got this new Star Trek fan club thing established, and Starfleet International is, set up nationwide and I think internationally as well. And thanks to James Weakley and Siri Arum, they got a chapter founded called Station Shelby, and it's on its 1-year anniversary. And now there's this new chapter in Jackson that's starting. So stuff is growing.
James, when I first envisioned this, because I love that movie Trekkies and everything, and I was watching one of their meetings. Like, I don't know, I forget which one she shot, but to me it looks like they hang around, they watch episodes, they talk, and it's fun. But you went through training for this, man. This is a big thing, right?
Absolutely. So to take on the responsibility of leading a chapter, one of the critical things is we had to study bylaws. We had to study how the organization itself works so that I don't do or say or order anything that is illegal or violates anyone's membership rights. And so I had to take those classes. But of course, now there are fun classes also because...
Well, I hope so, yeah.
Absolutely. In addition to training for a captain, I'm a nerd, and in as many ways as I can be one. So I'm trying to get a doctorate degree in Starfleet Academy, Starfleet Fandom Academy. It's going to be worth the paper it's printed on.
Dr. Captain James Weakley.
Yes, that's the goal.
You're not kidding around. You can get a doctorate in Starfleet.
Absolutely. Because you take a certain amount of courses to get an associate's degree, a certain for a bachelor's. That's where I'm at now. I'm working on my master's stuff, and then that's going to help me get the doctorate. Right now, I'm also certifying for Starfleet Special Operations. And so I'm trying to do as much as I can because I love it.
It's really cool. They're all very, very dedicated. And I'll say I haven't taken any of these classes, and I am just a crewman. I am not any kind of officer in this thing. But one thing that he hasn't mentioned that I make sure people know about is that we also do public service projects.
Yeah.
And we raise money for charity. And one thing I should have mentioned before about Star Trek Day, which is Sunday, April 12th, is that in the last couple of years we have joined what's called the Trektivism movement, where we do actual, service projects or fundraising. And this year we're going to raise money at the event for what's called PanCan, which is a pancreatic cancer charity that is favored by our Star Trek celebrities from last year. So Jonathan Frakes, Armin Shimmerman, John Billingsley, who played Dr. Phlox on Enterprise, they were all big, promoters of PanCan. We raised $5,000 for it last year. We're going to try to do that or more this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. It's like, and actually, as I recall, going back, every Star Trek fan group, that's kind of expected. You're expected to give back.
Well, social justice and betterment of humanity are such big themes in all the Star Trek series. It would be a very un-Star Trek thing if we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it falls right in line with Starfleet International. Their primary mission is charity and public service in the name of creating the world that Gene Roddenberry envisions. And so we, as close as we can, align with that.
Hey, Steve, we're always getting new listeners, and there's people maybe they're new to Memphis and they never heard of Star Trek Day. Can you kind of paint a picture of what you're going to see when you walk in and what the day is going to look like?
Yeah, well, so you're going to walk in and you're going to see some waitresses who are bedecked in costumes, and you're going to see a lot of people who are dressed in costumes. You're going to have Joe and Brandon greeting you at the door. There's going to be Star Trek merchandise for sale. Each table will have a menu with all your Star Trek food and drink, like I said, fried tribble, Romulan ale, whatever it is you want. And then, up on stage will be a series of things. Over the course of the day, we're going to have a discussion about Starfleet Academy from that film critic. We're going to have some clips shown from that Star Trek documentary. We're going to do a lot of interactive things, like the ranked choice voting on the best time travel episode, the Star Trek improv, where we improv the skit. But what we're doing is we're doing it in 45-minute increments with 15-minute downtime in between each. So that'll give you time to talk with your friends, to go get something to eat or drink, to go over and take a look at the merchandise, see if you want to buy something. So we want to leave plenty of time for Q&A and all of these things, and also just a time for everyone to socialize and just hang out and get to know each other.
No, it's perfect. And it's like we said, it's free, but even if there's 100 people, like I said, the energy level is higher.
Yeah.
And it seems like the production gets improved every year because, we weren't doing these Skypes, 4 or 5 years ago, right?
That's right.
That's been a big coup for you. Jonathan Frakes is pretty big bragging rights, man. We've had others. So.
We've had some real big Star Trek celebrities over the last 3 or 4 years zooming in for a live Q&A. I think it's really, really raised the level of it. And then, what I'll do in the future is one of these days I want to get somebody a celebrity come in live.
Right.
And we'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It might, and maybe we'll need a bigger venue at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine. So, so let's see. Okay, I know we've given it out quite a bit. 5725 Quince Road, Neil's over at Quince Road. Hang on, let me start over. 5725 Quince at Neil's, which once you're there, you can't really miss it.
No, you can't. First off, there will be a bunch of vehicles out front.
Right.
And yeah, and what was really great last year, which was Gerald's first time at Neil's, was Neil was there. He was at the table behind us, and he was giddy as a teenager.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
He got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
He's not really, I don't think, any kind of a Trekker, but he just thought the whole thing was fun.
All I know is that when it was all said and done, it's like at one point he grabbed me aside and he goes, I want one of those. And he's pointing at my, because I had my 50th anniversary Trek pin on there. And I was like, okay. So I went, I talked with your wife and we got him one. So he was excited.
And it's lots of positivity, and you can't help but smile when you're there. It's just good. It's just a good community event. So Shelby County Star Trek Day, April 12th. We have more to talk about when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio. Welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and our buddy in the house, our visiting correspondent James Weakley, who he's a captain and a commander of Station Shelby.
Hello.
One of the most intense fan clubs I've ever seen, James. Good to see you. But and our buddy Steve Mulroy, founder of Star Trek Day. You might have heard his name around town in other capacities too, Brandon. But
absolutely.
This is strictly Trek Today. But hey, you guys. So one of the things that has become a staple, and honestly, it's probably one of my favorite parts of Shelby County Star Trek Day, are the passionate and heartfelt voting. What do we call this, Steve? Is it
instant runoff voting or ranked choice voting, multiple round voting, instant runoff, ranked choice voting on the best whatever episode, category. This year it's the best time travel episode. And so what we do is we accept, in the weeks leading up to it, we accept nominations over on our Facebook page, Shelby County Star Trek Day Facebook page, for the best Star Trek episode. And then we'll pick 8 to 10 of them and we'll put them up on the board, and then we'll let everyone have their vote. But of course, with that many categories, no one of them is going to get a majority, right? So you got to figure out some mechanism for figuring out which one is the consensus winner. And so just like in a real instant runoff voting or ranked choice voting election, and by the way, Memphis voted for instant runoff voting 3 different times, and we never implemented it because the state legislature then outlawed it. But that's a whole other question. So what we do is the one that gets the fewest votes gets eliminated, and then everybody who voted for that one gets to redistribute their vote. And then you just keep doing that, eliminating the weakest until it comes down to 2.
Right.
And then the one that gets the majority is the one that's declared the winner. And then at the end of the day, we watch that episode.
Yeah. And go ahead, Gene.
One thing I'll add is there's a featured post in the group right now where you can go ahead and put in your favorite time travel episode in this moment. Go ahead and submit your nomination so that we can do that voting on the day of.
To Shelby County Star Trek Day Facebook page. And by the way, I think this gets to what you're talking about, Joe, is we don't just do the voting. We also allow people to speak as to why their candidate is the best one. And so then you get competing visions with people debating, no, this is the best one, that's the best one. And it's all in good fun, it's all lighthearted, but it gets everyone, like you said, everyone involved, everyone speaking up, everyone expressing their passions, and that's where it really comes alive.
Well, to me, Brandon, I've said this 1,000 times. I think conventions, which I consider Shelby County Star Trek Day more or less the convention scene, and this type of geek culture is, to me, the epitome of how society should be. Mm-hmm. You get every kind of person together. All of us are there, all different ages, all different points of view, and yet everybody's unified celebrating Star Trek. And you can disagree, because I'm sorry, I disagree with your choice for my time travel was going to be Trials and Tribulations.
That's a good one.
But you're going very serious, right?
Well, I nominated City on the Edge Forever, which is the classic original Trek series with Joan Collins, in which Kirk and Spock and McCoy go back to the 1930s. It won a Hugo Award. It is considered, I think, by most people to be objectively the best original Star Trek series. And I think it's wonderful. However, I wouldn't be that disappointed if it didn't win, simply because I've seen it so often and I'm so familiar with it that I wouldn't mind seeing one that I'm less familiar with. Trials and Tribulations, of course, is that great Forrest Gump kind of thing where the Deep Space Nine crew goes back in time to the time of the original Star Trek Trouble with Tribbles episode, and it's really funny and it's a crowd pleaser. So that's good too. But there's a lot of good ones.
Who do you got, James? Who are you pulling for?
So I'm stuck. I love Trials and Tribulations. Deep Space Nine is my favorite of the Star Trek series, but I'm also thinking about Cause and Effect, where the crew of the Next Generation Enterprise are stuck in a time loop, and we get a special guest at the end of the episode from another era of Star Trek.
Yeah. And Crusher's drink keeps spilling and everything. But Brandon, do you have one that comes to mind?
Honestly, no, not one. But you know me, how I feel about time travel. Time travel only exists in my mind in Back to the Future. Everything else, time travel just causes trouble. It literally just causes trouble.
But see, now what I like about these types of things is I love when people get up and no filibusters allowed. You got to get up, speak your point, and keep the thing moving. But I do love when you get all these points of view, and I almost always learn something. Mm-hmm. Like somebody will say, well, I nominate this because Riker did such and such and whatever, mm-hmm. and you're like, actually, that's a pretty good point. I think I will pull for that.
Right. Well, of
course, very interactive.
If we have a rule against two-parters, because we just don't have time.
Right.
But if there were a two-parter, I might nominate Past Tense by Deep Space Nine because it has a great social commentary message. That's the one where they go back in time to
2025.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And
That's intense, though. That's
and
not a
they-
laugh
right.
riot.
They have these sanctuaries, groups, areas of cities where the homeless are all herded into these little camps. And it really is some trenchant political commentary about how we treat the
Oh, how
homeless
meta
and poor
that
people.
feels.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it's funny. In the 2025 Star Trek Day, we had Brad Watkins talk about that episode because it was supposed to be happening that year.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. Which, yeah.
And then in some cases in DC, it was happening right then.
Yes.
But I do have a question, especially with the way that it keeps growing. I mean, we've seen the numbers go from, what was it, like there were like 20 of us at the first one, over 100 last year. Do you ever see it going from Star Trek Day to Star Trek Weekend, where you've got a multiple day event?
Please.
Hey, well, first of all, see,
It's not day anymore.
It's still Star Trek Day, but the event becomes a weekend thing.
My wife will kill me.
Here.
We spend so much time organizing this thing.
Right.
You've got two professional convention organizers here who are willing to
now
help
you're
when you need it. All right, Joe mainly, but yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
Let's talk about that off the air. You guys don't miss it. It's really fun, honestly, folks. And it's great shopping. It's a good shopping experience. And it's just a wholesome afternoon. And actually, the food's really good. So get on over to Neil's over at 5725 Quince Road over in East Memphis. And Shelby County Star Trek Day from 11 to 6. It is a lot of fun. And, definitely suit up, too, if you've got the Spock ears or...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but guys, this has been a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks. But we got to get out of here. The show is over. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
Steve Mulroy, live long and prosper.
James Weakley, peace and long life.
And I am Brandon Olmsted, letting you know I'm going to keep working on these guys till it is a full week event.